and just like gave back. Yeah. Super cool, man.
You're a very likable dude right now.
Thanks, man. Thanks. Brownie points.
Yeah. Doing drugs in the jungle and helping sick children. Amazing.
It's like nothing I've ever experienced in my life.
Wait, did you say you hadn't done any weed or anything prior to that?
Correct.
And you were just like, hey, let me hit this frog magic?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
But I would imagine somebody who hadn't tried anything would be very scared too.
100%.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm just like,
what made you take that leap? What made you?
You know,
that's a grim picture. Are you in a war zone, or what's your? Or do you feel free and happy?
I feel free and happy. I mean, me and my brick of cocaine are plenty content with the laws as they are. You know, you don't have to stress out about going to prison for life anymore. So.
Hello, family and friends. Welcome to another Talks with Lemonade. This is available to the billions around the world on YouTube in 4K and audio streaming services like Pandora, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Spotify. If you like this content, please subscribe, like, comment, and share. And now onto the podcast.
Wait, so what were you doing in Peru? Were you scouting for land or doing an ayahuasca, or what was the?
Yeah, I was actually not scouting for land. It was crazy because little backstory. In August of that year, which was 2019.
Yeah,
I was wearing so many hats with my businesses and just doing a lot, you know, and I created my businesses to get out of the cell, but then my businesses, I basically made a prison and then put myself in the cell again, like in my own prison, because I was kind of in this rat race, you know. Yeah. It doesn't necessarily change it, you know. We got to shift the way that we want to live and things like that. So for me personally,
well, it's still better to not have a boss then, right?
100%.
Okay.
Yeah 100%. But for me, like, you know, passive is super huge. Like, I like passive income. I love that.
Yeah.
Like, I'd rather, you know, focus on rentals now than flips. But back in August, I got this little intuitive hit, God, universe, and it was like, hey, slow things down, pull out of some markets, let some people go. And I was like, and then I didn't really listen. Then it got stronger. I told my assistant, I said, hey, I got this voice coming in. I gotta follow it.
Yeah.
She was like, okay, well, we laid some people off. And then I was offered to go to Peru for a month. And I was like, how am I going to make this work? You know, my assistant handled everything.
Yeah.
I ended up going to Peru, and, you know, didn't have cell service, sat with some shamans at the Shipibo tribe, and I sat with ayahuasca, and that was like I think my 10th time sitting with Aya, but
oh wow,
just the setting was a little different.
Yeah.
You know, it was in Peru, shamans like in the jungle of Peru.
Yeah.
Wow.
And we raised like 18 or 17 grand for the kids in Peru and the hospitals in Peru.
Nice.
So after our experience in the jungle, we brought Christmas to the kids, and we went to some hospitals, Mother Teresa Hospital, and just like gave back. Yeah. Super cool, man.
You're a very likable dude right now.
Thanks, man. Thanks. Brownie points.
Yeah. Doing drugs in the jungle and helping sick children. Amazing.
Yeah,
that sounds awesome.
Yeah, that was
does sound cool.
That was a really, really neat experience sitting with Aya and Mother Aya in the jungle, especially with the tribe. We woke up early, like 6 a.m. And you go in the jungle, and we actually like pulled the shakuta leaf and the ayahuasca leaf, and we like hammer these things together, and then we dumped Amazon water in this big boiling pot, and we boiled it for 12 hours. It was very ceremonial.
Yeah.
very like there was a lot of ritual behind it. I bathed in the Amazon that day. It was
wow.
great.
And so you make a tea. Is it hallucinogenic or is it DMT or what's the thing that's happening?
I'm not a scientist, but
Yeah.
there is DMT in the ayahuasca root, and then the shakuta leaf is the transporter for the DMT
Okay.
in the brew.
Okay.
And they also added some other stuff in it. I don't know what other plants at the top of my head. Like,
Yeah.
it'll come to me. But
Yeah, I haven't studied it much, but I've heard of a couple people doing it. So for anybody who's not familiar with it, is it a spiritual experience, or what's the goal of going down to Peru?
yeah, right now I think the buzz of with plant medicine. I've been experiencing plant medicine since probably like 2016. Before
Okay.
it was like even like a thing to kind of talk about.
Yeah.
It is a spiritual experience. It's a journey to self. A lot of people dub it as like 12 years of therapy in one night.
Okay.
And it, for me, for each person it's totally different, but it releases ego, self-doubt, past stories. That to me, I've experienced severe depression and anxiety, like the emotions of that. And I discovered meditation, then I discovered plant medicine, and I was like, wow, this is a great way to help me regulate and also kind of break through limiting beliefs.
Yeah.
So yes, that long story.
Yeah.
It is a
We got a lot of time.
yeah. It is
Did you experience the death feeling that people talk about with the ayahuasca?
Yeah, not so much with that specific journey with ayahuasca, but my first journey with ayahuasca, yeah, that my first ever like hero's death, if you would, was it was like 2016, right? But I didn't smoke cannabis. I never taken mushrooms. And then I was invited to this, this was 2016. I was invited to this,
Swingers party.
yeah, the swingers party
At the green door.
the green door where I walked in. It was a ceremony, and it was, it's Bufo. Bufo is 5-MeO DMT. It's actually secretion from an Amazonian frog. And you smoke it out of like a pipe. And that journey is maybe 15 to 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And it's like nothing I've ever experienced in my life.
Wait, did you say you hadn't done any weed or anything prior to that?
Correct.
And you were just like, hey, let me hit this frog magic?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
But I would imagine somebody who hadn't tried anything would be very scared too.
100%.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm just like,
What made you take that leap? What made you?
It was funny because
Because I'm pretty square. That's why I'm curious about it.
I discovered, like I said, I was in meditation, and then I started hanging around people that were doing sound healings and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then this ayahuasca came in. I don't remember how. I didn't look up ayahuasca or anything like that, but somebody had mentioned it.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait, what is that? And because I was seeking like further enlightenment, if you would, or exploring the bounds of what I think this world is.
Yeah.
So somebody mentioned ayahuasca. I was like, oh, okay. So I talked to some people, and then literally one of these guys that I went to Reiki, like Reiki is like energy healing, energy shifting.
Mm-hmm.
He did a couple sessions with me. He just called me up like on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, in 2 weeks, I I just felt called to call you.
Yeah.
There's, it's gonna small group of people and shamans come in and we're gonna. This isn't what he said verbatim, but he was like,
best you can recall.
We're gonna smoke Bufo, and I was like, Bufo, all right,
Sounds like a party.
Yeah. So I show up and I'm like, he's like, hey, and then they send me these meditations that I had to do a week prior, a diet that I had to do a week prior, no sex, no like sugar, yeah.
Okay.
And then
you lost me.
And then I show up and I was like in basketball shorts and these people are like in ceremonial garb,
Oh, yeah.
Like
you didn't wear the shaman ritual clothes.
No, man, because I didn't have any at the time.
Gotcha,
but now I have a full inventory of it. No, I have a couple fits. I have a couple
Nice.
fits, but they're way comfy.
Okay.
Yeah, I see why Mormons wear them. No offense to any Mormons. Super comfy, super comfy. Yeah, I show up and these people just got done like throwing up because they took another ceremonial medicine. It's Cambo. It is a secretion from the frog also, and you actually burn dots on your skin and then you place the frog poison on it, and it helps with like gastrointestinal inflammation, any type of like hereditary acid reflux, things like that.
Yeah.
So they just got done doing that, and I was like, what the fuck is going on? And I was like, if any of my friends see me, like they're gonna think I'm in some type of cult. They're gonna put me in a home. I can't tell anybody about this, because it was very secretive. And then I saw this guy smoke the Bufo.
Yeah.
And sitting in a room like lit like this without excluding these highlight lights.
Yeah, these camera lights.
Yeah, the camera lights. And I see this guy like just like vibrate, like not convulse, but like his energetic beingness was like vibrating, and his aura was super bright. And I was just sitting there holding space, and to see this guy, and then he gets, 15, 20 minutes go by. He gets up, and then I look him in the eye, and I'm like, yo, this ain't the same person.
And you decide, I want some of that.
I was like, I guess I'm going next.
Yeah.
So, but that experience for me was so powerful.
Is this
powerful.
the hero's death you mentioned? What is that?
Yeah.
What is that concept?
As soon as like, I would dub it as a hero's death. I don't know if that's what it's actually called, but
I'm not familiar with that.
it's like, so I smoked it, and he was, the shaman said, hey, count back to 10 or backwards. I got to like 8. It's gone.
Yes.
I remember getting to 8. And then I just remember, like as if I fell off a cliff backwards.
Yeah.
And I started falling like slow and then faster and faster and faster. And as I was falling, like all of the bullshit that I did up until that point, like in my life, like whether it's lied to people or dishonest or cheated or, did like all these like negative things, like baggage that I held on to because I didn't know any better.
Yeah.
Were just like, these were the layers as I was falling. I was like, and then it started getting faster and I was just falling.
Interesting.
And then I saw like all these portions of me like on these layers, and then I hit the floor.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden I'm just like skyrocketed up, like past all those egos. And then I'm just crazy geometrical shapes.
Yeah.
And then I started seeing these like almost very similar, like if anybody has seen Doctor Strange.
Yes.
Like, the Marvel movie.
Uh-huh.
I can relate it very similarly to that in regards of visual concepts for me to help kind of explain this, but like there's a moment where Doctor Strange gets kind of pushed through like the multiverse.
Yeah.
And it's very similar to that, where I was seeing different versions of myself, future versions of myself, of like past or future of like things that I can do and things that I will do. And and then I get into this space where it was all white, like just pure whiteness. Like I was looking at my hands and they were just glowing. It was the most beautiful thing that I've seen ever. And it felt like it's love, man.
Yeah.
There was just so much love illuminating. And the moment, because I was scared, I was like, oh shit, did I just die smoking fucking toad venom? You know, I think I'm dead.
Oh,
I think I'm dead. And the moment that I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm dead.
yeah.
And that was like the moment of like so much beauty for me. Pure whiteness, nothing. And I can kind of relate that. I've never like had, aside from that, like never had like a near death experience, but I've looked them up and I'm like, this is kind of similar. Then immediately after, I was like, and like, it felt like I just came through like my mom's C-section, you know, like her, and I was like, oh shit. Like I just like came out of the womb.
You're back in the world.
I'm back in the world. And I was like, and this person's sitting in front of me and I just couldn't help but like radiate love. And
Nice.
it was like insane, man.
That
Insane.
That's a fantastic description. You're a good storyteller, Tyson.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
A lot of people will try to describe their trips, and it's not anywhere near that good. They're just at a loss for words, or they're struggling to try to describe it. But that's really cool that you're able to share it.
Thanks, man. Yeah.
That way.
Yeah. And shortly after, thank you, man. Shortly after that, I started trying to transition some of those thoughts and images on painting because I enjoyed to paint.
Yeah.
But it's so difficult. Like Alex, is Alex Gray? Alex Gray, maybe. He does like Tools album covers and stuff.
Okay. Yeah.
He does some really cool depictions of like the fractals and like what people experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you know, that journey versus an ayahuasca journey
Yeah.
are totally different. You know, ayahuasca to me is very, they call her Mother Ayahuasca. So it's very like earthy, like tarry, like dark. It's heavy. It's heavier than like a mushroom trip. Have you ever done mushrooms?
Yeah. I tried mushrooms once. I had a good time.
Yeah, they're
It was super happy, just loving everybody, and I think I had a 2 mile smile on my face that just wouldn't disappear.
Those are the best, man. That sounds like a good trip.
Yeah.
So my face when you said the ayahuasca and the smoking the toad venom was different. I thought they induced the same chemical releases in the body. So that's I thought I heard. I might be wrong. I thought ayahuasca you also get the death feeling. So with the toad venom too, was that not the same?
You do. I think the Bufo, the 5-MeO DMT is like ayahuasca, but like on a roller coaster with boosters.
Oh, okay.
And
super fast.
Super fast. It is fast. Where ayahuasca,
It's like 4 hours, 8 hours.
yeah, like anywhere from 4 to I've sat like 6 hours.
Okay.
It's a little bit longer. I can process things a little bit more. You know, with the 5-MeO, I didn't know if I was in my body. I wasn't in my body. And there's been experiences where like I've experienced paralysis with ayahuasca, like my first time sitting with ayahuasca. Like I couldn't move my legs or my arms. And I was like, oh shit, you know, like I need somebody to help me go to the bathroom. So But you do have those ego deaths too. More processing, and ayahuasca is very ceremonial, in my opinion, when done correctly. You know, a shaman can guide you through the journey of you know, letting go of your past and ancestrals and things like that. So
Yeah. I mean, I would imagine every trip and every person and every experience is different.
Yeah. But,
Oh, yeah.
But yet with the Bufu, I've heard so many people mention that they experience death.
Mm.
And I don't remember where I've heard this now. I want to say I've watched the documentary, and they say that the chemical releases on the brain is the same chemical release when you're about to literally die. Supposedly, if you got in a car accident, you're bleeding out and you're seconds from dying, supposedly that chemical release, whatever your body's doing right before it dies, it's the same chemical when you're doing the Bufu.
Wait, we're talking. This stuff is the toad venom, right?
yeah,
Okay, I'm just making sure.
that totally makes sense, because like that feeling, it was literally like it was whiter than like anything I've ever seen. And I'm like, yo, this is what people experience. Like later on, you know, obviously not while I'm tripping, but like, I'm like,
Not
yo,
while you're falling through the multiverse.
I'm like, this is what people experience when they're dead, you know? And they're like, and I think that was the coolest moment for me, if I can rate cool moments there.
Yes, you can.
That was the coolest moment, where I was like, okay, I think I'm dead. Okay.
Yeah.
And that was so freeing, like so freeing, because, you know, we hold on to life a lot, and life is super cool. Life is cool, but
It's overrated.
Life is cool, but I like that segue. That's great.
There's a lot of pain in the ass involved too.
it's a human experience, you know, like we all got the ups and downs and the sideways and the lefts and the rights and all this shit.
Yeah. When you did that first experience where the guy invited you over, was that at a time in your life where you felt successful, or you felt stressed out, or you felt what life were you living prior to that moment?
Can I pause real quick? Would you want your cup thrown out the water so you could just pour the vitamin water in that?
Oh yeah.
So your question, once we'll get started, once it comes back, just you're asking, what was your life after?
Yeah. What's your life like prior to going into that? Because you seem like a successful dude who's got your shit together and, you know, just winning all around. So
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
So before that, I think a year before that, my grandfather had passed away. My grandfather is a person that raised me.
2015.
End of 16. End of 16.
yeah.
He was a person that raised me. And
so a huge loss.
yeah, and it was the first death that I experienced in like the tight nucleus of my family.
Right.
And at that time, I was kind of chasing material, money, like very egotistical, like very like arrogant. And then when I experienced that loss, that year was nuts, because my first dog died also that year. And then I had just dissolved a 7-year relationship with my significant other at the time.
We're having a hell of a year.
Super dope year.
Yeah, right.
But
Just on fire.
I was winning.
No, like everything's on fire.
Yeah, literally. And it was tough. And I had discovered Abraham Hicks and Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now.
These are authors?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The Power of Now was one of the books that kind of like saved my life, if you would, because at that time I started drinking and I'm like, yo, I don't have this thing figured out.
Right.
Like, what's going on? You know, it's just really collapsing and demoralizing for me. So I started drinking, not Yeah, I was drinking.
You don't need to say more than that.
Yeah, I was drinking.
There's social drinking, and then there's not so healthy drinking.
Yeah, it was not so healthy. And, you know, I super, like, I never had empathy for somebody who experienced depression or anxiety prior to that. And I was like, I think I have depression.
Oh, so prior to that, you were like, hey, just kick out of it. Like,
Yeah,
but
like, oh, this is
Just be tough.
Yeah, you're tripping, you know?
Yeah.
And then I experienced it, and I'm like, wow, this is a legit thing. And so I started reading self-empowerment books and personal development books, discovered meditation, learned how to do breathing techniques, how to move energy. And at the time, I was feeling good. I was on this new space,
Yeah.
of journey to self, man.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I got this emotion thing down, and let me see what this plant medicine's about. So, and it wasn't openly as talked about as it is now.
Right.
So it was very kind of hush hush and secret events.
That was way back when weed was getting legalized in Nevada. Around that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nuts. I didn't even think about
That
that.
was a brand new thing back then.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what, 6 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
So
And even now, the toad venom and ayahuasca itself is still not legal in America. Maybe in
Oregon?
Oregon,
It's not legal, but
it's
you can't.
decriminalized.
Yeah, you don't get. Yeah, you just get a ticket essentially. Like
So
as long as you don't have trafficking amounts of most drugs, then
and they're pretty new on that there. So I mean, the rest 49 states I think have yet to decriminalize any of those and any psychedelics and whatnot. So even now, it's still tough to get by. People are doing it underground because they would.
Oh, I actually think that we have medicinal mushrooms now here.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, they can prescribe it for certain conditions, and you can legally have mushrooms.
But a brick of cocaine will still get you in trouble in Oregon?
No, I don't think so.
Nah, the cops don't give a shit around here, dude. You can.
Oh, really?
No, dude.
This is my personal brick.
Yeah, exactly. This is my personal stash. That's all you gotta say. That's if the cops even, cops aren't even around anymore. So whatever.
Gotcha. That's a grim picture. Are you in a war zone, or what's your? Or do you feel free and happy?
I feel free and happy. I mean, me and my brick of cocaine are plenty content with the laws as they are. You don't have to stress out about going to prison for life anymore. So
yeah.
Yeah, they recently decriminalized everything, like heroin, meth.
Yeah.
Section 110, I think it is, right?
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah.
Everything's legal here. Yeah, drugs, car theft, whatever, man.
Great.
So you could have a hallucinogenic toad farm in your house.
Yeah, the state would probably subsidize you.
Yeah, I'm imagining like a really fun like aquarium of like toads playing around on little mazes and stuff.
So Tyson, what do you think about the effects?
I think we just found a great YouTube channel. We need a toad maze.
Right.
Toad maze.
So
Whoever gets to the end gets licked.
Virtually.
Yeah.
From 2017 and then till now, what do you think characteristically changed in you? How has it affected you and your business?
What a great question. That was
Yeah, I thought we were going to talk about like foreclosed properties and flipping homes.
that was great.
Yeah.
And you've taken us on a journey. So this is a surprise.
So what characteristics have kind of evolved?
What's changed and for the better and the worse?
Yeah. Great, man. Like material things. I do like nice things, man.
Sure.
Like I like nice shoes, watches, like house. I do like that, but like to have that only be my driving focus, that's been not necessarily completely eliminated, but it's been significantly reduced, Also like all of the fucks that I used to give about what other people thought about me, like also returned, like that's been huge. And I'm human, so shit still comes up. Limiting beliefs come up, like eliminating those, like and understanding that I can do anything. Like the current reality that I live in, the current paradigm and the storybook that I live in is the one that I wrote. And if I want to change something, like I get to change that. And as long as like that was a huge understanding for me, is like anything, whether it's like I'm not producing enough, like, or I don't have X amount of properties, or I want to enter in an art competition. I sold some, I entered in some, not an art competition, but like I got a booth on First Friday, and then Last Friday on, it's called Last Friday in downtown Henderson. And I started selling my art. I always wanted to sell my art, but I was also scared because nobody would buy it. Yeah. I ended up like selling out, nice. You know, because I wasn't selling it for the material money. Like my pieces weren't $300. I was selling them for like $40.
Right.
And they were like decent sized pieces, good pieces. And some, like this kid came up and he wanted the Sonic one. And I was like, here, you know, I just want people to have my art.
That's really cool. Yeah.
Yeah. I just want people to experience me more so than, you know, make money. Granted, I still have those moments where I'm like, yo, because I like making money, because money buys other things, you know, like money allows me to eat at nice places and experience things. And more so I use those tools now to experience life versus trying to be the collector of money. So
that's cool.
I'm not hanging out at Popeyes enough.
I respect the guy that came up with that. I mean,
have you guys tried? Do you guys eat Popeyes?
I do.
I love that spicy chicken sandwich.
I was just going to ask you about it. I've never tried the spicy chicken sandwich.
It's delicious. I mean, you know, I think if you just go in just wanting a deep fried chicken sandwich, you know, it's
pretty
great.
Solid.
Yeah, it's right. You know, they use a bigger than average chunk of you know white meat.
Yeah,
and it's deep fried, so it's delicious and greasy. And then I like that their spread tastes more Cajun-y than mayonnaise.
Okay.
So
they used to have jambalaya there. I don't know if they still
I remember
that.
that. No, they don't. Not that I've seen.
Oh man, I used to love that. Yeah, the jumbo.
But I think the trick with that sandwich is to go in with just getting a sandwich.
Got it.
Some people go in like, this is going to be the sandwich of a lifetime because I've heard so much. And of course not. It's just
I've never been disappointed with their chicken. So like if they're making a chicken, sorry. What?
No, go ahead, man.
I was just gonna say that anything they put chicken on, I'll eat it.
Popcorn chicken.
Yeah,
I would prefer that over. I would prefer Popeyes over KFC.
Oh yeah, KFC jumped the shark many years ago. They're terrible.
Yeah,
completely mismanaged company.
Whoa, the 11 original spices still taste good.
Yeah, but Yum Brands, the parent company, they've just ran it into the ground.
Wow, you're a wizard of facts, man. I love it.
Thank you.
Wow. This is great.
I think in the U.S., if you are selling any kind of deep fried chicken, you got Popeyes and KFC, right? There's some other brands like Church's and stuff.
Church's is solid.
Yeah,
but I mess with Church's.
But then there's some other huge brands, Cane's and Chick-fil-A.
But those are like fingers.
No, but I mean these are all just versions of deep fried chicken, right? It's weird.
Yeah.
And I love buffalo wings and chicken parmesan. And I just realized
Parmesan.
These are other forms of deep fried chicken.
Chicken Parmesan?
Yeah. I think I mean fancy Italian food. I mean deep fried chicken.
Parmesan. Oh, Parmesan. I'm like chicken Parmesan.
Yeah,
where's there a restaurant that's
Parmesan?
I'm thinking of like little Parmesan nuggets. I'm like chicken parm.
Sounds delicious.
I was like, where is this at?
Sounds great.
Where are the chicken parm nugs, man?
Yeah. But I think in the U.S., if you can sell any form of deep fried chicken, you got a winning strategy here.
Yeah, Jollibee's pretty good too.
Deep
I
fried
like
chicken?
Jollibee.
Yeah,
I'm a fan of. I don't know how we got on this topic of food. It's hard left. Hollow is probably my favorite.
Is that the dessert?
Yeah,
nice.
Probably favorite. I'm half Filipino and German, so.
No way.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
So I grew up with Filipino food and German food, but Hollow's like it's so delicious. It's shaved ice.
Yeah.
Has like red beans, some jellies, ubes on it, and I think the actual translation is mix.
Really?
And it has condensed milk on it. So good.
Tyson, you have a pretty strong beard, freckles and a flannel shirt, and I never once suspected you're half Asian.
Yeah.
Infiltration here.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what it is, man.
Excellent. So Lim is Vietnamese heritage. I'm half Vietnamese. And so we end up talking about Asian American topics a lot. So
Beautiful.
Is that a big part of your world, or did you just grow up as a Vegas guy? And do you have a connection to the culture, or is it?
I love Asian culture, man.
Yeah.
I love Asian food. It's part of me, like rice. I could consume rice every day. My mom and dad split up when I was younger, so I'd spend time at my dad's house. But like when I watch Joe Coy, Joe Coy's freaking hilarious, and I resonate with those jokes because growing up, it's all the same. Like all of our grandmas look the same on the Asian side. Like my dad had a freaking rice dispenser in the corner, like by the trash can.
Yeah.
That would disperse cups of rice.
By
That's
the portion?
cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
That actually sounds convenient.
Yeah. It was white or cream at the time with like stencils on it.
Some electronics.
But yeah, like Asian, I think for me, like top food choices, any type of Asian food, Thai, Filipinos probably like a little bit lower because it's heavy for me. Like it's heavy fat content. Korean, Vietnamese food, great. So much.
It's a challenge when you're trying to balance culture with a healthy diet.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Joe, what's your heritage and background? Do you have any? Are you sneaking in Asian also?
He is. He's half Asian.
Technically, geographically, yes, because I'm half Saudi, and Saudi Arabia is part of the Asian continent. Not
Get
that
the fuck out of here.
Culturally, obviously, it's
I'll
not
take the
same.
Indians. We're not taking the Saudis.
I'm half Saudi and half German, though, so no Asian.
Wait, you were rich all this time, you motherfucker?
I wish I had some oil money or some Nazi gold. Shit, I'd take either or.
I thought you were a regular guy.
Yep.
If you speak German?
No, not at all.
Yeah, that's cool.
You should say 9 when people ask you that.
9. Yeah. You gotta say it angrily though. You gotta embody it.
9.
Yeah, 9.
Uh,
No, I don't speak anything.
My grandma grew up in Nazi Germany, like 1942. She was in Nazi Germany. It's crazy, man.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that the other day because I was like, man, she's seen so many like generational changes. The telephone.
She's still around?
Yeah.
Oh, so you're able to talk to her and hear some of these stories?
Yeah, I actually interviewed her for my podcast, and it was super cool.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, super cool.
Nice.
It was actually the time that COVID happened. I was like, oh, how's the relatability from, the lockdowns and this versus the lockdowns that you experienced in Nazi Germany? And she's like, oh, this is nothing. This is cakewalk.
Yeah, I bet.
People aren't getting shot. People aren't being hung on the streetlights.
Yeah.
This is cake. Get used to it, kids.
Disneyland.
Yeah.
I get to hang out at home and watch Netflix.
Yeah.
Not that bad.
To this day, man, she still eats moldy bread.
Because you don't want it to go to waste?
It's just like her, like that's what she grew up on, Like if the bread's a little moldy, she just rips it off and still eats it. Like
I'll do that.
Her daytime snack is like milk and bread. It's great.
Yeah, I won't throw out a whole, if there's a little bit of mold, I'll pick it off. There's definitely a point at which I'll write off a piece of, a loaf of bread.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's more applicable to cheese.
Where is that point?
Well, so scientifically, once you see a little bit of green, actually the whole thing's already started. There's
Spores.
There's micro amounts of spores everywhere anyways already, so you should throw it out. But I think it's probably not enough. I mean, obviously your grandma's a 80-year-old-ish living specimen that hasn't died from these spores.
Specimen.
Champion.
Cheese is, you can cut off cheese.
Yeah.
Honestly, like I don't know if I've cut off mold like recently. I eat blue cheese. That's basically
that's intentional. Yeah.
Yeah, that's basically.
I'd say if it's not supposed to have mold and it's approaching the size of a pea, then I'd probably get a little wary, because then it's like, this could make my stomach sick. Like, what's the, if I spent tomorrow with a stomach ache, was that worth saving the bread? Probably not. Not the risk reward. there.
Yeah.
But if it's a small little speck, I'll just tear it off. And
Yeah.
because part of me wants to be like strong enough to handle that too.
Yeah.
On that note, I want to tell you guys this: do not ever make a sandwich in the dark and eat it in the dark in the middle of the night. I have done that. And then like, why does this taste? What's with this texture?
It tastes great.
Oh.
And then turn on a light and you look at the bread and you're like, oh,
It's a
and
little
then,
fuzzy.
yeah.
Oh man,
It's
I've
like
done
a
that
movie
before.
scene.
One time.
that made my mouth salivate a little bit. That was,
What did you do? Did you get angry at the sandwich and throw it on the floor, or what?
I did. I threw it away, and I was more mad at myself for being so fucking impulsive in the middle of the night to eat a sandwich. I didn't even check, and it was just a random loaf of bread that had been up there for God knows how long. I've done the same thing with milk too. I pour it into my glass, don't hear the flup, 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 and then take a drink and like, just throw up because you're like, oh my God.
milk's the worst, man.
Yeah.
I stopped drinking like actual like cow milk, but a while ago. But I still remember those like rancid smells of milk.
Ugh.
Well, see, but at least milk will tell you right away, right?
Yeah.
It'll
Yeah.
let you know.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be able to record audio, just video.
Okay, I got your audio in 2 places.
Perfect.
Do you have one of those VR porn setups? Is that what's screwing up all the?
Not yet. I just got my first VR headset recently, so we'll see what's up with the VR porn.
Ooh.
Yeah, for
When
science.
when they say metaverse, is that what they really mean? That's where the future is.
Meta dick.
I forgot to read between the lines.
Oh shit! I can't cuss the first 10 minutes. I forgot.
Oh my God!
bleep
this is
that out.
great.
Yeah, I've been bleeping art.
VR porn. I can't wait. Not for me, for friends.
yeah,
Research
exactly.
purposes.
For friends. Asking for friends.
Well, no, metaverse has been the hot thing for the last 2 weeks.
It has been. It has been. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's funny because I should have thought of porn before now. Whatever it's video or computer or whatever, it should be porn first as far as reality, right?
Yeah. I think it's gonna be a cool venture. Very matrixy in a way.
Mm-hmm.
I think it'll change some people's lives financially. I think it'll change people's lives emotionally and all that stuff. But the way that people watch porn, the way that people interact, this is going to change in the next 10 years. Definitely.
Yeah. I mean, so I've never been VR is the future. But I do see that we are living our lives increasingly online and on our telephones, our cell phones, right? So if you care more about your online profile, if you're spending more on digital things like skins or digital possessions than the $7 I spent at Ross or whatever, do you care more about your online presence more than your real world? For some people, their more important life is online, right?
Are you asking me the question?
Yeah, I mean, I'm making I'm putting forth the case. I'm daring anybody to challenge me that we're not becoming digital citizens as it is, right?
Yeah. I think we already are. I think the VR set is just an addition to us navigating through the world and we'll kind of see where it lands. But
yeah,
I do know a lot of people who care more about their social presence. And it's a facade. It's like a fugazi, and it's so fake, especially because I know a lot of influencers and I was part of some YouTube masterminds and they just they do it for the likes and they practice that. Let's say their channel is about uncovering people who murder people or whatever. But then you then begin to kind of think about the way that those people do that. And because you have to solve these cases and
wait, how did we get into murder?
I don't know, man.
Just
hard left. I
know-
watched Dexter last night. That was
Okay.
good.
Wait, do you know people that are doing murder YouTube series? Or
Yeah.
is it- okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
They're doing PI stuff. It's kind of rad.
Wait, they're personally investigating or they're
Yeah.
telling us?
Cold cases.
Okay.
Cold cases, and they're uncovering because some of these people have these mass followings.
Yeah.
So they're able to kind of uncover a lot of stuff
Huh.
through their following.
Versus
Versus
hey,
police
let's
department.
somebody talk to the sheriff department in this town.
Yeah, I don't know what their process is like, but I know that
Yeah.
there's people that do it.
Huh.